Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com. Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Claire.
And today we're talking to Bobbie Rosenburg from Bobbie's Boat Sauce. Hi, Bobbie.
Hello. Hi. Happy to be here.
Welcome to the shit show. Got it in today.
I didn't try to snipe it.
No, me either.
Bobbie, tell us your history with spicy food and hot sauce and how that led to Bobbie's Boat Sauce.
Sure. Well, I mean, I probably, unlike most of your other makers, I'm not a big spicy sauce person. That's not like my raison d'etre in with food or in like, I like spicy things, but I've never been much of a hot sauce head. However, I created this sauce, which also happens to have some heat in it, but I consider it more like a flavor sauce. But so I created Boat Sauce. I launched Boat Sauce in 2018, and it's based on a recipe that I came up with while I was on a sailing trip up in British Columbia in the Inside Passage, which is the trade route, the historic trade route that goes from Seattle all the way to Alaska, but through Canadian waters. And I was on a 3-week-long sailing trip with a friend on a 46-foot sailboat, and he caught a fish. It was a rockfish, and I went down to the kitchen to make something to go with it. And, this is one of those voyages where you are provisioned, you're provisioned with everything until you get to the next port within, a few weeks or, days or weeks, but it's not like I need garlic. Let's just dock somewhere and pick some up. You need to be stocked on the boat. So the boat's provisioned, but it only has, it's only provisioned with so many ingredients. And I am one of those people that I'm constantly obsessed with using up things in the fridge. I love leftovers, but I hate waste. So I'm always just what can we do with this? Faced with this rockfish, I found a half of a can of tomato paste, some pickle brine, some pickled carrot brine, a little half of an onion, some garlic, and some items from the pantry. And I just started building this sauce based on flavors that I like, and sort of with the idea of a sambal sauce, like an Indonesian, with chilies and garlic and fish sauce. And so I wanted something that was bright and pungent and tangy and umami. And but I didn't really know what this was going to turn out because it wasn't really a recipe. And we sat down to eat, and it was the flavors was everything I was trying to do. And it was the perfect balance of everything, but it was also a flavor profile I had never encountered before. It wasn't tomato sauce. It wasn't a straight up, it definitely was not a hot sauce. It was just this yummy kind of jammy tomato, savory, but bright sauce. And I became obsessed with it, and I named it Boat Sauce. And by the time we docked up in Port Prince Rupert is where I got off the boat. I was like, this is my business. I'm going to launch this. And I came back to Portland, Oregon, and just started sourcing, like, just had this, knew what the recipe was, and then just started tweaking it and refining it and figuring out how to get it into a bottle and, all of that stuff. And then the rest is history.
And how many flavors do you have now?
So I have just two sauce in the sauce category. I have two flavors, classic and hot. So classic is really mild. It has two kinds of chilies, but it's a tomato base. It has fresh green jalapenos and dried guajillo chilies. And then I have my hot is red jalapenos, guajillo chilies, and chili de arbol.
Nice.
And it's, and the hot is like...
Do you make your own sauce, or do you work with a co-packer?
I work with a co-packer. Mm-hmm. And I make a dry seasoning as well. It's called Bobbie's Boat Dust. And it's the same... It's basically all the ingredients for Bobbie's Boat Sauce, but in a dry seasoning.
Oh,
nice.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were you doing before starting to do the hot sauce or doing the sauce? What kind of, was it were you in business for yourself before and kind of took this in a different direction, or were you just like total career change?
Oh yeah. Total career change. I was working in advertising at the time. I was sort of my role was director of creative resourcing. It basically, it's like a really high-powered cat herder. And I had been I had been working in advertising for about 8 years. Prior to that, I had owned a couple cafes. So I had restaurant and business ownership experience. So I kind of thought that I knew what I was doing when I started Bobbie's Boat Sauce. But yeah, I had like a kind of a corporate job before I launched it. And for the first 2 years, I had both a full-time job and Boat Sauce. And then after I quit my full-time job and I just went freelance. So I still work in advertising.
That makes total sense. You can see it in your online presence. It's really crisp.
Yeah.
Really good.
I have, well, I don't know if I'm going to say thank you. And then the sort of like backhanded self-deprecating, like I have like great resources. Like I work, my designer, Mike, is super talented. I think my skill is in finding great, talented people to help me. But I do all my own copywriting and to an extent, all my creative direction. So I guess I'll take some credit for that.
There you go.
And it is quite a skill to find the right people. Like that is absolutely a skill.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it is just like, a lot of it is knowing exactly what you want. And that's also sometimes kind of hard too, like sometimes it's easier to know what you don't want than what you want as far as like branding and marketing goes,
Yeah. And being able to translate that into what somebody else can pick up on and make happen is definitely an art form in and of itself.
Yeah. Agreed.
Did you from the beginning, did you decide that you were going to go with a co-packer, or did you veer off at some point?
I knew from the beginning that I wanted to work with a co-packer because I had this full-time job and it was full on. And also because I had run a restaurant before, and restaurant, that food, whether it's restaurant or food service or food manufacturing, it's some of the hardest work in the world, I think. And also rewarding. Like I loved having cafes, but I just knew that I didn't want to be like in a commercial kitchen on, a Wednesday night at 10 p.m. doing this, and that would, that eventually that that it was going to just take a lot out of me to get it done. So I went straight to a co-packer, and that process made the whole thing take longer, because finding the right co-packer, and it's like, I think there's pros and cons to both of those things. And really it comes down to like, what's your life like in this moment, and what, like, how do you want to grow your business? And how does each model work for the life that you have in this moment?
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zach, do you want to ask a question? Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any questions. What are you talking about? You act like this is a fucking podcast or something.
We just have them around for the eye candy. That's it. I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm, and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here, and I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
Have you been with the same co-packer, or have you had to go through several co-packers to find what you want?
I'm on my second co-packer right now. And I think that I've been working with them longer than, I've been working with them for the last 3 years, or I think 3 or 4 years. So like longer than I was working with the first co-packer. I was ready to scale bigger, and so I wanted to tweak my recipe, and it's really not easy. I've had a lot of, my co-packer is great, and also we've had a lot of hurdles, a lot of mishaps that, both sides are like, well, that was my bad. But yeah, it's not like, God bless the co-packers, but also it's not easy to get everything you want at all times from a manufacturer.
Have you always worked with them doing the 8-ounce plastic bottles?
Yeah. I from the beginning, I just really wanted this. I really wanted boat sauce to be squeezed. I like the application of squeezing it more than pouring it. And man, it's like, what's the lesser of two evils? Like, there's great things about glass. There's bad things about glass. Same for plastic. But for now, this works for me. I do think about glass from time to time, but I think I'm a little bit a ways away from making that decision.
It's really hard to find consistently good glass these days. Like the glass I have right now. Let me see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but look, the stuff is so elongated and wonky. My labels won't go on it properly. Really? And I paid, 28 cents a bottle for this garbage. Yeah. And it's garbage.
Yeah. I remember during the pandemic, like all of the sauce makers and working in glass were just like SOL with, like imports from China. Just like,
Yeah.
it's hard, but I've had the same thing with my caps too, and I actually had to switch to this like bigger, bigger hole in my caps for like 2 years, and I hated it. And I just got back to my like regular smaller
Like
hole.
that?
Yes. Yeah. Is that the big one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a drag.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
I actually asked for those. Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it for boat sauce. It leaves like, it kind of just leaves a messy rim, and like, it's not my favorite, but I'm back.
With our carrot, it does that because our carrot is a looser sauce.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's the other thing about a co-packer is like when you're like, I want to make this tweak, if you're making your own product, like you can afford to like say like, I want to use a little bit less water to see if I can get like if I can like, if the viscosity changes the flavor at all, or, if makes it better for application. And like, you just doing that with a co-packer is a lot of like, a lot of effort and grief because they don't really want to change anything. And it's understandable. Like they have a bunch of other things to do than not like tweak your sauce.
Yeah, I do co-packing, and working with a co-packer is just it's a relationship, and having the right match in people and personality and drive and what you want and everything. It's just so. I mean I feel like quite often when we have somebody come to us who has already been working with another co-packer, I want to get all the information on what did and didn't work with that other co-packer, because the last thing I want to do is repeat the problems of the previous co-packer. But I want to know the things that like stress them out in life are the things that like we're really good at handling and have no problem with, and make sure that the things that we're not great at are not the things that stress them out in life.
Sure. Yeah. That's I think that's exactly it. I think that like there's just, one thing is that for me, like leaving my first co-packer they weren't terrible. I just was like, I was so like kind of Goldilocks about it. I was like, this isn't right for me, and da da da. And so I just think that I think as a founder and the developer, I'm always going to find something that's like not quite exactly what I want. And you're like, and that's the relationship with the co-packer, is figuring out how to like, get what you want and like not get, not, like disrupt their business. I consider like the woman who owns the co-packing company, I sometimes like call her my teacher because we're like, it's not like butting heads as much as this, like, I need this, she needs that. Like, how are we going to work through this, And so we learn a lot from each other, and I really like her, but it's like it's not always a harmonious relationship, and that's okay. If that,
I was just saying to my husband tonight that like in 100% of manufacturing situations, something will go wrong. And when you are working with a co-packer, it's just really finding that right match of people who deal with that thing that goes wrong in a constructive way, instead of blowing up and going crazy or whatever, the way that the two of you can match and make it constructive and get better results from it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Sorry, zoning out, thinking about my only co-packer experience.
Yeah, are you saying, Zach, that wasn't a good match? You didn't deal with things in the same way?
You had two hotheads, like, going at it, you know what I mean? One of which says, oh, we can't get this. And then here's me, the little guy, like, here, I just sourced it for you. Problem solved. Then there's, Anyway, no comment. I have lots of comments. I just won't express them here.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in reality, you going to ask your question, Spike?
No, that's at the end now. We moved that around.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
Change
it's
the
$100
format.
hot sauce, actually.
Oh, it's $100 hot sauce?
Yeah.
You can have that. Go ahead.
Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zach is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co., we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co. Just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com. All right. Well, so Zach and it was my idea, and I badgered them until we
do not throw us under the bus with this bullshit. This was all Spike.
So we've seen a few people come out with these $100 plus hot sauces in the last couple of years, and they're usually, at least in my opinion, not worth it. So I had the idea of trying to come up with a $100 hot sauce that is worth it in process and ingredients. And so we're asking our guests to throw out some ingredients or ideas. We've got quite a bit of them already. And so if you have anything that you can think of, we'd love to take it in.
And not truffles.
Yeah, not truffles.
No. You know what? No offense to anyone. I think like truffles belong with like eggs and like, you know, I really, I'm not a fan of of truffle, like that truffle flavor in hot sauce. That's all I'll say. Okay. $100 hot sauce ingredients. I mean, man, you put me on the spot here. Cause I mean, are you talking about like with ingredients that are like that, you know, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just basically like some like beautiful heirloom peppers that, you know, are sort of like things that like take time and effort and, you know, labor. Okay. I mean, I don't know how like saffron would be in a hot sauce, but that's, you know, a luxurious, pricey ingredient. And I could see that working in a hot sauce if it was subtle, and maybe like a saffron with like something even fruity, like a peach, like some kind of like peach and saffron.
I like that.
Hot sauce with like some fruity chilies. That's my contribution.
Zach's got a hot sauce with saffron and a taco sauce.
Oh, okay.
Very tasty.
Well, then I stand corrected.
That's actually, I like that idea.
But peach and saffron sounds really good together.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay. Zach, there you go. There's your special
we got an
edition.
answer.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've had anybody say saffron yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
So
Peach
So here's the thing with saffron. Specifically, obviously, I know this because I work with it on a regular basis. The amount of saffron needed. So, for instance, 40-gallon kettle of Ghost of Saffron, we're talking 10 grams of saffron for 40 fucking gallons.
Yeah.
So it's really not that expensive when you think about it, because it just a little bit goes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking your idea. I'm just saying,
no.
you know.
Yeah. And if it were like a sauce in the sort of like vein of Bobbie's boat sauce, what I would say is like a super like cask fermented fish sauce, like some kind of like, you know, really fancy aged fish sauce with like fermented chilies and garlic. That'd be really good. Or like a chili crisp with those same ingredients.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about incorporating a barrel into it somewhere.
Claire's dying to make a barrel.
Well, you volunteered me to make soy sauce, so
that's true.
That's going to be
interesting.
like I guess I'll start reading up on that.
Yeah, soybeans
It'll
are
be
plentiful.
a year-long process in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm pretty sure there's some here in Vermont that we can get. I know there's a bunch growing up over the border in Canada, but I don't know.
I know, I don't, for what it's worth, I'm sure they're not, but like, I live in Oregon, but I grew up in Connecticut, and there's a guy in Mystic, Connecticut who's brewing his own soy sauce. Like,
cool.
artisanal soy sauce. So that's something to check out, like a small batch in New England.
Yeah.
Can you know the name of it? I
totally forgot. I just know his name is Bob. Because we met and I was like, oh, I'm Bobbie, you're Bob. But if you were, I apologize. If you were to Google, like soy sauce, Mystic, Connecticut, I think it would come up. Yeah. I think it's a Japanese
Moromi.
name. Okay. Yeah.
Moromi.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Gosh, that looks good.
There we go.
Based on the Connecticut coast, Moromi produces small batch soy sauce, miso, hot sauce, and specialty fermented condiments.
Oh, there we go. Nice. He also does hot sauce.
Yeah. Beautiful packaging.
Your next guest.
Anyway, yeah.
There we go.
Be like, hey, we want you on so we can talk about your soy sauce.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal your recipe.
Maybe I go visit him and learn how to make it.
Yeah.
Zach, would you like to do hot takes?
No, that's a clear question.
Okay. So, Bobbie, do you have any hot sauce or condiment or food-related hot takes? These are things that other people think are true and you think are not, or vice versa.
Oh, I'm sure. I have so many opinions. So I already gave you my opinion on truffle hot sauces. So do you want other hot takes or?
Yeah. What are your spicy takes on things?
I mean, I guess generally, like, I am not a super hot person. I don't think that because I'm a bit of a wimp, and so I can't get into these crazy heat levels. I don't see the point. I think it's just a little bit of just a machismo kind of thing with people of just how I mean, but I also at the same time when I do table at fairs and stuff like that, I see small children who are complaining that things aren't hot enough. So I mean, I know people have different tolerances for that stuff, for sure. But I said I don't know if that's my hot take. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with truffle. Yeah, I'm gonna just stick with truffle for now.
There you go. That's a good one to stick with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you. Truffles are tasty, but in a hot sauce they just linger for.
Yeah. No, I know it's not.
Move on.
It's not.
I believe there's
not a flavor.
There's only one hot sauce that I've had that I enjoy truffle in, and it's so subtle you barely notice that they're there.
Yeah. Well, and I've had sauces I enjoy truffle in. I'm like, oh, that's a tasty sauce, and then an hour later, I'm like, there it is, still there, hasn't gone away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you had the California Hot Sauce Solutions Subtle Teas?
No, I haven't had that.
Claire,
the one that I had was Seed Ranch flavor. I really enjoyed it. It was really tasty, really tasty, and it was subtle. But then I was at an event, and then I moved on, and it was just still there, and I just wanted it to go away.
Yeah, no, these guys do truffles.
We'll have to get a bottle of that, the subtleties for Claire. It's actually the only truffle sauce that I'll eat. It's so subtle, but it doesn't take over everything. It's very well done.
I've heard good things about Truff Green, and I'm just curious.
No.
Yeah. I know their branding just annoys me. The whole
Yeah. I can't get past the essence of truffle that they use in their oil, which is a chemical that they source from China.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry.
Yeah. It's totally
Why
synthetic.
go through the trouble of using why go through the trouble of using real truffles in your fucking product and then using the essence of truffle? Make it make sense.
I agree.
Although just using something that's not truffle oil, they probably still use truffle oil, but I think that's the most egregious and just so sticky. The oil is just so sticky.
Well, it's the chemical that they use.
Yeah.
And they've, as far as I'm always careful about criticizing who we criticize, but there's big enough companies that I think they're out of reach of that, and they've become that now. So I don't care about criticizing them. Whereas like another small batch company or somebody even in the mid-level, I wouldn't do that with.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, it's some real hubris to think that our opinions about food are just correct.
So, well, they are. That's why we have this podcast, Claire.
Everybody listens to us.
We have
no matter what, especially about food, because food opinions are fact.
I like when Zach called us the anti-truffle crew. That was my favorite. My favorite thing.
I mean,
okay, so I'm in good company.
Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
We have hot sauce show and tell.
Yes, you're in good company. Yeah, hot sauce show and tell. So, Bobbie, what did you bring?
Well, I'm on vacation right now, so I went. I'm on Orcas Island, and I went to Island Market where they also sell Bobbie's boat sauce, but I picked up a bottle of my friend Nikki's Hot Mama fermented Fresno chili hot sauce, and this is about as spicy as I can handle, and it's medium.
Awesome.
That sounds good.
It's called medium, but I think it's pretty spicy. I like taking like a hot sauce, like the Hot Mamas, or I also really like the Secret Aardvark's Sarabinero, and putting that alongside a boat sauce in a dish, not mixing them together, but having them sort of just sprinkle them like on chilaquiles or something like that, and just getting both of those flavors in different bites.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
Claire, what did you bring?
I brought Burke's hot sauce black garlic cayenne. I got this at the Boston Hot Sauce Show, and it is so good. And the black garlic is so well balanced, and I'm finding I'm using it on everything already a good way down on the bottle.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just really balanced. It's not over. Sometimes the black garlic sauces can be really overwhelming. I don't think there's even a small amount of black garlic. It's just really well balanced. Really, really enjoy it.
That's awesome.
And I'm not even usually a big fan of cayenne, and I really like it in this sauce.
That's right. You've said that you feel like it's bitter.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not even bitter. It's tannic. I don't know. I can't describe what it is. I don't like about it. It's the flavor of the skin. I don't like that flavor.
Zach?
Nope.
All right.
Called you out first.
Jersey Barnfire. I was talking to John recently, and he was telling me about this sauce. And
Fuck
it's
those guys. No, I'm just kidding.
It's apples and spice. I don't know if you can see it. And I love this sauce. I'm jealous that I didn't come up with this. It's so good. And he was telling me about it, and we were doing a trade. And he's like, "Well, what would you like?" And I'm like, "That apple and spice one sounds really good." So it's everything he said it was, and I've been eating a lot of it. So there you go.
Nice.
I have Jules Creations.
Oh,
ooh!
I finally opened the package that she sent me like fucking 3 months ago. Tahitian Thunder Sauce.
Oh, I think I've had that one. That's really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
What flavors?
What flavors? Peppers, vinegar, pineapple juice, mango, pineapple, cantaloupe, carrot, lime juice, garlic, agave, salt.
Nice.
Smells good.
Fantastic.
I'm not gonna try it though. I will eat it. I just you know how it is right now.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll do this for you, Zach. Bobbie, what's next for you? What's next for Bobbie's boat sauce?
I could have asked that question. Yeah.
That's a great question. I think that what is going to be next is maybe I played around with this a little bit last year, and it's now down to like finding the right manufacturing partners. But is snacks, and using my dust for a popcorn or a snack mix. Last year, I started making like a Chex Mix flavored with both boat sauce and boat dust, and it like sold like gangbusters. But it was really hard to make, and there's no simple way to like make it in a mass quantity, like because you can't really buy check in like, you know, sort of industrial sizes. So I am looking at popcorn and nuts and stuff like that. Snack foods.
Yeah, I was going to say
Nice.
peanuts would be really good for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you doing the Chex Mix, and I remember thinking that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rapid fire questions, right?
Nope, it's Claire. Do you know?
You want me to ask it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobbie, do you have any questions for us?
Well, I didn't realize that you were a co-packer, so I would love to hear like more about that and your clientele. Are they all New England regional?
No, not at all. We've got people all over the country.
Okay.
And actually occasionally out of the country, but usually in the country.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of different things. So we didn't start as a hot sauce company. The name of our company is Butterfly Bakery. So started as a bakery. We also make goat's milk caramel. We bake, we make hot sauce, we do a wide variety of things. Most of our co-packing is in the hot sauce area just because we have the efficiency of scale for that. We are, we work with a wide range of people. One of the things I'm discovering, and like I mentioned earlier, that relationship is so important to co-packing. So that's usually, I'm finding it's almost more important than what we make. So it's always an interesting thing when somebody comes to me with a new project. I always want to I talking to them and learning about their product and what works for them and what doesn't, and all of that will inform a lot of my decision. But also sometimes I just want to ask, like, okay, so if we have a fire and your product is contaminated by fire extinguisher dust, what's your reaction going to be? I ask questions like that because that literally happened to us just a few weeks ago.
Wow, I love that.
And fortunately,
that's
great relationships with my clients, and they're like, so fortunately everybody took it in stride. You know, how the fire happened is going through insurance and everything, and it's fine, and everybody will get paid for whatever was lost of their product. But yeah, it's we do a lot of different things, and we like new projects. We're finding that kind of honing in on hot sauce and getting better at making hot sauce is kind of where we're focusing our co-pack energy. But we also make salad dressing, we make cookies, we make granola, what else do we make? I don't know. Those are the things. Oh, honeys, maple syrups, that sort. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love that.
Before we get into the rapid fire questions. Oh, go ahead. If you have more questions, please.
I was just going to say, just to throw that back at like you and Zach, like what's next for you guys in your...
Oh, Zach.
Go ahead, Spike. I'm waiting on equipment to show up. I spoiled myself with a packaging line, but it wasn't like the right fit for my space, so I sold it. And now I'm like, I don't want to make sauce because I got to do it the hard way. But as you can see, my pallets are looking pretty bare back here.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just waiting on that equipment, but until that comes, I'm not really pushing or promoting or doing anything really.
Is that new equipment on its way, Zach?
I don't want to talk about it. No, it just took over. It's scheduled to be finished on July 11th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's got to ship, but I got Illinois, Portland. Then I'm going to Ohio for Jungle Jim's Weekend of Fire. And then I come home, and then a couple of weeks later, I'm going to California. So I don't really know like when I'm actually going to get it.
Right. Do you find that Jungle Jim's is worthwhile to go to, Zach?
This will be my first year, but I was told that it is absolutely not. It
is absolutely not.
No, it's not it's not a big sales thing. I mean, I hear
it's a good face making, showing face.
That makes sense.
And I hear that Jungle Jim's will buy a bunch of your leftover product for wholesale stuff. So, however, if you're not already in Jungle Jim, they want to make
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got our new outside sales guy and trying to figure out what's worth to do and what's not, and what's, just kind of.
I will say the price is right. It's only $200 for a booth at Jungle Jim's as opposed to $1,500.
Right.
Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Bobbie, will you be in Portland? at the Portland show?
At the Hot Sauce Expo?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that this year. Boat sauce is not spicy enough for that crowd. I did it. I did it in 2022 and I had a fun time, but I got really tired of like, this isn't spicy enough. And it's so, I just save my resources for like, other things. Like I love a seafood fest. I've done the wooden boat show up in Port Townsend. I like sort of more of the like coastal things.
Well, if you're in town that weekend, stop by so Zach and I can say hi.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's in August this year.
Yeah, August 10th and 11th.
Okay, yeah, it's super fun. I mean, I really enjoyed it last year or 2 years ago. Yeah.
It would be great to meet you in person. So I haven't talked about this yet, but the reason why we're able to do plastic is Bobbie like really helped us. And I really appreciate that, Bobbie. Thank you.
Oh,
because getting glass was so hard. So thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the best thing about doing all of this, I think, is the community and just like the mutual support and, aid that comes with like we're all it's like it's not competition, it's just like we all rise when we all help each other, and it just makes it worth it.
It's one of my favorite things about the hot sauce community. Like it really, like I said, we make a lot of different stuff, and there's no goat's milk caramel community, there's no mustard community, there's no baked good community. Like it's but there's absolutely a hot sauce community. It's fantastic.
Is so true. Yeah.
Chili oil coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're pointing to?
Yeah, I got the 9-ounce jars I need to do something with. So
delicious.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just don't get sued.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
Here's a fun little fact about me. I will take that shit. If he really wanted to sue me, like I would take it to the end. Yeah. I don't give no fucks.
Well, it's great.
I've done it once already.
There's that.
Anyway,
are we ready for rapid fire?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So these are good. These are going to be quick, but you have a delay, so it might be a little slower than usual. All right. So you win the lottery. What's the first piece of hot sauce related equipment you buy?
Bottling machines.
All right. If you had to give up the hot sauce business, but could do anything else, we know this one. What would you do?
I'd wow. I know this is rapid fire. I'd be a therapist.
Oh wow. Okay. I thought because you already have a job that you know what I mean? Yeah. So you get to use one hot sauce for the rest of your life. What, it can't be one of yours. It can't be yours. What is your desert island hot sauce?
I'm so basic. I like it. Zabs, something very basic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. What's your favorite and least favorite type of hot sauce?
My favorite is kind of the, like the sort of traditional kind of Southern, like I guess Louisiana style. Also, Funky's Hot Sauce Factory makes this one called Wild Child. I think he makes it for his kids, and it's very mild, but it's really like, sort of quintessential like Tabasco-y hot sauce flavor. I love. My least favorite is Chipotle, not a smoky person. I know
totally get it.
People love it. Yeah.
We have a Chipotle, but it's even not my favorite, but it's our most popular.
Yeah, people love it. And God bless them.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So if you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be and what type of heat would you add to it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I used to have a sandwich cafe. So so this is a tough one, but okay, right now, this is what it would be. It would be like a hot chicken cutlet on like a cold, like a hoagie roll with shredded lettuce, sort of like very traditional kind of New England style grinder with a hot chicken cutlet. And I think that I would put like some pickled jalapenos in there, but like homemade pickled jalapenos, not just from the can.
That does sound very good. All right. Let's see. If you could go, yeah, I know I'm hungry now too.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and change one thing about your early hot sauce journey, what would it be?
Whew. Ooh, man, that's a loaded question. It might. I can't answer that rapidly. It might be co-packing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the best business advice you've ever received?
Start slow. Start small. Like,
That's good.
Yeah.
This is just a fun question. This next one, it's not serious. But if you had to fight another hot sauce maker, who would it be and would you win?
I would. It is the truff. I'd love to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Would I win? No, but
That's awesome.
I'd go down trying.
But you'd give it a good college try.
I'd give it a good try. Yeah, I think I'd have backup too. Right?
There you go. A lot.
Yeah.
If you could collaborate with any other hot sauce company, who would it be?
It might be with Nikki and Hot Mama Salsa. I love her stuff, and she's an amazing cook. I think we'd have fun together. Actually,
I hope I get to meet her when we're in Portland.
Yeah, you will. She'll do that. She'll be at the thing. I actually know exactly the product
so
that I
many
would
great
make
things.
with her. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you had to pare down, well, yours is. We'll skip that one.
Too.
If your brand were a cave person, would it be a hunter or gatherer, and why?
A gatherer. I mean, I think just because that's my personality, but I think that it is it's a really utilitarian sauce. So I don't know. I associate that with more of a gathering than like going out and stalking prey.
Well, and you were on a boat and you gathered all the stuff from around the kitchen and
Sure.
created that. That makes
There you
perfect
go.
sense.
Yep.
All right. So describe your favorite hot sauce without saying a single ingredient or heat level. And you can include yours in this one this time.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say bright, a little bit sweet, not flavors, bright, a little bit sweet. Definitely salt and round flavor.
Oh, I like that. All right. Last one. It's really silly. If Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce with them, what type of heat would you use?
Like what type of chili, or what would the heat source be? Oh, okay. Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, any and all of the above.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would say something nothing too crazy. I would say like a, like a Fresno. I think a Fresno chili would work well in that. Something kind of fruity.
Oh yeah, that sounds
I'm
great.
thinking of that minty
And that's
flavor,
it.
Though.
We're done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about the mint. Well, thank you so much, Bobbie. I'm such a big fan. I wanted to send your sauce to the other two, but it kind of snuck up on us.
Okay. Well, send me your addresses, and I'll get you some.
Yeah.
And I would happily send you some stuff as
Yeah,
well too, Bobbie.
yeah.
I don't know if
I love it.
we have more than just hot sauce
Same.
too. So
Yeah. Let's do it. So
send
we'll-
your email address or your address.
Yeah. Okay. Likewise. Yeah. Okay. This has been
All right.
really
You have
fun.
a good one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. All right.
Thank you so much,
meeting you.
Bobbie. It
Thanks
was
for
really
being
great
here.
to meet you.
This has been a Spike Mine Media production.